All right. Hello. Happy Sunday. I got a few minutes to stream, and I just felt like refactoring some more on the Family Scrum app using this Bonsify thing, because we've been like deep diving into all this React stuff, and I'm kind of curious to go back into the mindset of like external state management and specifically the patterns we're using. Well, first I demoed this. I built this proof of concept for. Let's see if I can find my videos. I'm actually not sure if you can hear it. I'll just assume that you can hear it. And the proof of concept is like using AI, using an LLM to respond with text that becomes audio and Excalibur elements. So, and it's instructed to do it in steps. So it's like a teacher that kind of draws and talks and draws and talks and draws and talks. But as I was trying to like demo this to some colleagues, it like it's quirky, right? Because it's not fine-tuned or anything. And then I asked it to draw something. And it was so funny because out of nowhere, it kind of became this like super confident toddler that like creates these shitty drawings. And it was a fun concept. So I wanted to try to do like a YouTube short kind of thing. Let's see if can I jump to it here? Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it.
Let's start by drawing the basic shape of the crocodile's body. This will help us establish the overall form and size. Next, we'll add the crocodile's head. This will give more definition to the front of the body. Now let's draw the tail to complete the body shape. This will balance the overall form. We'll add the legs to give the crocodile a more realistic appearance. Finally, let's add some details like eyes and teeth to make it look more like a crocodile.
Yeah, so that's kind of the whole point. And it was like super hilarious when I showed it to my colleagues, and also I showed it to my partner who actually had the idea of making it a YouTube short. So I'm not sure like how funny it is for other people to just watch it out of context, kind of. But yeah, I thought I would give it a try. But I do wonder, like, do I actually share my... Yeah, I do share system audio. Yeah, cool. So you should have heard it. Anyways, so that was just a fun thing. And then we can ask it to draw all kinds of stuff. Like it's typically most funny with animals. But yeah, because I'm not the kind of person that would ever like go beyond the ideas. So if it could be like a funny YouTube short series like this AI trying to draw different animals, that would be amazing. But yeah. So we're back in our external state management, and like I think like what I want to do, I just need to like find a moment of motivation, is to like I don't know, I kind of want to take it from the perspective of like not to present this is a tool kind of thing, but rather, okay, so you're building an app, you're a team, like how do you actually figure out how to build something together? And then you're gonna do React, but how are you gonna do React? Are you going to embrace React, or do you feel like there's a complexity that's been that you know that's going to be reached, that you're going to go external, and what does it mean to decide between those two things? Yeah, because I really want to, and I want to use this app as an example, because even though it's not like, it has a lot of complexity, but what's interesting about it is also data fetching, because what I wanted to do here now, like how does this actually run now? Does it actually run? Oh, 5175. Let's see, let me log in here. That's me. Yeah, so we kind of have the thing running here. We have, I guess, pretty empty, but we have all the features, I believe. The only thing we're kind of missing is the thing of like adding something new, which I want to try the AI thing again because it's a long time since I implemented the AI thing. But before we do that, I thought a fun experiment could be, we're gonna log a little bit here. So let's find these components. So we have current week. Oh, not current week, sorry. This is plan next week. So this is plan next week to-dos. Cool. And then we have this to-do assignment. So let's log it. Cool. Or render assignment. And then we're going to see, you can see this, it renders, well, now I went straight to this page. So if I go out of this page first, and then go to plan next week, it's like, it's 67 renders, because it's like 67 to-dos, right? So you kind of have to ignore the first 132 because that the reason that happens is because it's like building, it's fetching the data and building up the state. Though it is an interesting thing regardless. But anyways, so what we're gonna do is look at when I toggle something here. You see it does 67 new renders, right? We wanna make that 1 and see if we can do that. And the reason it does 67 new renders is because I'm revalidating the data, which is a very common way to do things now, and it's perfectly fine. But if you have an opportunity to not do that, hi, good question. You know, I haven't tried it. I am only on YouTube. I haven't really thought about doing cross-platform streaming. I know I can just configure this thing. I'm using Ecamm, and I can configure it to do that. But I never used like Twitch personally. Maybe I should try it, but I don't know. Like I try not to care about at least like building up an audience and stuff like that. I'm kind of doing these streams because I prefer to work on code and play around with stuff as I'm talking. So I kind of thought I might as well just share it. Yeah, but still, like it should be very straightforward. Maybe I should try it just for fun. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. Cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look into how we build up these different states. So for example, we have our weeks, and let's just drag that down. So with our weeks, we are building up like previous, next, and current week. And what we're manipulating is the next week. Like what am I going to do the next week? So it's the next week, and here we have the week, and it's setting up a week to-dos API, and then it has to-dos and events. And we're subscribing to the week as a whole. And I don't think this actually, let's see, I need to look at the actual, oh, sorry. So this is subscribing to week DTO. Where's week DTO? Yeah, so that thing has the assignments. Yeah, but this is fine, right? We're subscribing to, oh, sorry. This is a specific subscription, sorry. So we are subscribing to the week, and then we are subscribing to all week to-dos. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to subscribe to each, but what's the difference here? This is the week. Oh, sorry. This is a week DTO. Sorry. This is a week DTO, and this is the week to do DTO. So this is the actual week. And then we have all the week to do DTOs. Let's see. Week to do assignment. Week to do activity DTO. What does this mean? So create week to dos. Yeah. So we're just going through. So what does this mean? Every time I toggle something, yeah, exactly. So every time I toggle an assignment on a week, that's gonna create a week to do DTO with those assignments. And then if someone else, like my partner, is doing the same, we're like manipulating the same week to do DTO, updating the activity by user ID. So what we want to do is only update that thing, right? So what we can do instead is say subscribe. Oh, sorry, subscribe changes. So instead of getting data here, we're getting document change. How can we do this? Week to do DTO. Week to do DTO. So we're not getting an array here. Yeah. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to switch on the data type. And if it's added, oh my God, they're home. Modified or removed. And then we're going to explicitly handle this in the array we already have. So let's see. So create week to do. We should be able to. Yeah. Well, this is interesting because, yeah, this is the thing I struggle a little bit with. Is that what if I can't find like what if it hasn't loaded the to-dos yet? So I get the week to do DTO, but it hasn't loaded the to-dos yet. This is why we derive. This is why we have reactive derive. Because then I can just derive week to do DTO. And then if I can't find the to do at the moment, yeah, but it is, yeah, it would just update whenever the to do gets there. Yeah, because this isn't safe. I guess I could like actually grab the to do. But then I'm doing like a, yeah. I didn't consider this. But I guess this already had an issue. Yeah, this already had an issue. Like I was just returning null if I couldn't find the to do. So it already had like a race condition there. So I guess like the thing I should really do here, okay, we're gonna assume that the data is actually there. And the reason we're gonna assume it is because like this, the weak to-dos, they do depend on the to-dos being available regardless. They can't display without them. So we're just gonna make sure that we don't actually go and subscribe to this until we actually have the to-dos at some other point. But let's see here. So how do we do this? Yes, weak to do. Why are you complaining? Oh, or null. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna throw an arrow here instead. Well, and then you have like, but it could be that we archived it to do, right? So, okay. If no weak to do, return. Okay, break. Let's see. And I'm actually also wondering. No, nothing. Okay, cool. So now if we have it added, we're gonna add it. And then if we're modified, we're gonna find the actual weak to-dos. Oh, sorry. Weak to do would be weak.todos.find. If no weak to do, I guess we'll also return. Feels a little bit weird. And then how does it get these assignments? Weak to do assignment. Oh yeah. So what we can do here is what do I want to do here? Like the simple thing is to just say you can update the assignments. But then that leaks out into the Yeah, how would I want to do that? I should have had some reflections before I started the stream, I think. I didn't really have any. Because this is like internally updating this thing. So I really want this to happen inside here. I do not want this to be part of the public interface, updating the assignments. But then we kind of have to pass down. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Well, I guess we can do. Yeah, and this is me just completely overthinking things. It's what I do. You know what? Maybe we should actually put this inside the same file. Like, tricky thing here is that like the outside is listening to changes to the data, and then we're wrapping that data, but that's the thing that's going to keep it up to date. But I can do, I think I can just assign it here. That's fine. That is actually perfectly fine. The only thing is that I don't have the function. I could export this as a helper, but I don't like the responsibilities here. How would I express this? I guess we need to have a function here. But it's, I just don't like it because this weak to do is consumed by a component. And now a component suddenly has this like update assignments, and it should never update assignments. It's only an internal thing. So what's also possible to do is that yeah. So like each of these could have like an own change function passed to them. But then I have to like deal with manual subscription, which is also horrible. Yeah. I don't have any intuition on how I want to solve this. Because the whole point here is that we are like making the perfect interface for components to consume. And by exposing like update assignments, we kind of break that principle. Because the components never updates those assignments. Well, they do. Where do they actually do that? Is it here? Where do I have that? Is it on the to-do, I think? Yeah, set assignment. Actually, I do it on the to-do, which is... Yeah, which was a thing. Like, yeah, it has to be on the to-do. It cannot be on the week to-do. Because that might not exist, right? So you're assigning on a to-do. Yeah, so I'm like even more... I'm thinking even more about, like, we have a week here. Week. Yeah. And then we have dinners, to-dos, and events. This is a week to do. But do I do... how do I do the events? Yeah, so these are the dinners, and then... do I even have events here? Is this old? I think this is old. No, I do it. Yeah, sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. So I'm just doing. Okay, so we're gonna change this. Sorry. Week. Oops. Week TS. So we're gonna bring week dinner and week event. Do I even have week event? No, I'm not using it. Oh, this is old stuff. Okay, week event, delete. Let's see. Okay, I got it. So we're gonna bring this whole week into this one. Cool. Let's see, we have weeks. And we're gonna map this. Is this week ID? And we'll map this into week ID, family persistence, family scrum on dispose. So we'll need to borrow some params here. Week ID. Let's see, family persistence, family scrum. Then we have week. Oh, did I remove that now? No, we have week here. Let's see, week, export. Yeah, then we have week dinner and week to do, but we're actually not going to put them into. They're not going to get their own things. Yeah, let's see. Week dinner, export type, week to do. And week to do is like this. So it's using a family member. This is using a dinner. Cool. Okay. So now we're dropping, let's see. Okay, I'm going to take that one. Then we're going to delete that one as well. And then in our week, so we're going to do something like, let's see, we're going to fix this. Let's see. Okay, let's review this. Well, where did I go wrong with Prettier? 84? Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, so a week dinner, week to do assignment, and week to do. That's great. And then as we're building up the weeks, we're subscribing to as we're building up the week, we're subscribing to the actual week ID so that we can populate the dinners that we have for each week. And then we're subscribing to changes to the create week to dos. So this is fine. Create and then create. Yeah, this shouldn't be week dinner. This would just be. What was it? ID dinner weekday number. Oh yeah. If no dinner. Oh, we actually do. are you complaining? Oh, I think I need to have the actual type. So this returns week dinner or null. Oh, what was it? Weekday. Oh, weekday. And it was ID. What's the ID? Yeah, ID, I guess. So what you complaining on now? Oh. Okay, sorry. So dinner.id. There we go. Okay, so we're subscribing to the week so that we can get an overview of the dinners. And whenever we get an update on the dinners, we're going to update the whole array. That's fine. So we're just mapping over the dinners. We're creating this thing that actually references the dinner. And if it isn't there, yeah, we're returning null. And then we're making sure that we only show dinners that we actually have. That is fine. And then we are creating the week to-dos. And yeah, create week to do. So that's fine. We're not going to do this anymore. And now we are able to. So we're going to move derive assignments away from this, and we're going to have it here instead. And then we're going to pass in the week to do data, week to do DTO instead. So now we can actually run it whenever we want. So now we can do week to do assignments, derive assignments with the new data. And then if we're going to remove it, I guess there's no like remove by index. We need to do find index. Oh, yeah, I guess we can do that instead. Wait, can I just do, no, not for each. No, I tend to like to better, like, we find the index first. Find index, and that would be to do ID. And then we're gonna do week to do index. Just gonna remove it. Okay. Subscribe week to do is missing the following. Oh, yeah, sorry. We actually get multiple changes. So we're gonna call it changes. For const change of changes. And then we have change.type, change.doc, change. Okay, cool. So now we rather have an abstraction of a week, and inside the week, we're going to build up the related dinners and like assign to-dos for that week. And that's what we're doing here. And then we are subscribing to changes instead of subscribing to any change, which means that now our rendering should be much more efficient. Oh, then I... Oh, export. Cool. Yeah, sorry. And then, let's see, we don't need that thing. In our index, we're gonna do week instead, like so. Okay, so that should be it. So if as the first, yeah, look at this, even that helped. Like first render is now 67 each child. Oh, each child in the list should have a unique. I don't do that. Family member ID. Oh, that's just a to-do assignment. Plan week to-dos. Did I forget to... Oh. There you go. Okay. And the reason it rendered the assignment there now, that single assignment, is because it was actually added, right? So first it rendered all the things, and then it rendered this one because it got the event on that specific one. So if I change one of them now, you see that? We're just rendering that one. And that's super nice because this is like the kinds of projects I've been working on is complex projects. It's like for me, it's like a given that we use external state management, we use mutable state management because that allows us to do this kind of thing. We do optimistic updates. So we do any mutation, server mutation in the background. So that in this case, we're subscribing to changes from Firebase because Firebase allows that so that we can have real time. But typically, like I haven't worked on real time apps. So what we do is we just do optimistic updates in the client. We do the mutation in the background. And by doing that optimistic update, in the client, is that that's the same thing. Like you just change the thing that actually needs to change, and everything optimally renders from that, which is nice. So even here, there's a latency on when I click, and that's because we're actually relying on Firebase, and it's doing a transaction. So what we can also do here to make this experience even better is that I'm gonna, let's see, I think maybe I got a message. By the way, I'm wondering if anyone's watching my YouTube short. I've never done a YouTube short before. Look at that. We have 3 playbacks. Did they enjoy it? How do I see if they like it or... I thought I could like make it much better by like adding music and stuff, but I just wanted to try this. Yeah, whatever. So let's go ahead and do this like even more efficient. So let's go and find our... Yeah, so we're gonna do that, like just make this thing super performant. And like, it doesn't really matter for this app. But again, we need something to work on to talk about these things. So the to-do had this set assignment thing. Where is the implementation of that? Here we go, set assignment. And the way we are doing this now is that we're going straight to the upsearch. So basically the transaction. So what we can do here is I can go in and I can actually update the thing. And we have family persistence here. So we do have access. Well, sorry, we have family Scrum. So we do have access to all the weeks. So if we go to weeks, Yeah, so this is the thing I'm having a bit of a struggle with. Because I'm not sure if this set assignment should really be on the to-do, even though we're doing it on the to-do. Because if I now want to, yeah, again, like, I don't really want to change. This is very interesting. Yeah, this is about like structuring data. Because what I'm doing now is that I'm like, whenever, okay, so as an example, so when I create these weeks, I subscribe to the actual data of each week, right? And then I immediately wrap that data in something I want the components to use for consumption. So like a week has an actual week interface where you have the ID, you have the dinners, and you have the to-dos. And you can't do anything with these weeks as it's defined now. But what I'm noticing is that internally, I want to manipulate the underlying data. But I still want to like have these like wrappers of, for example, week. So what I'm seeing is that, so what I'm really pointing to here is, let's see, Bonsify. Docs, data fetching, and extending data. In the examples above, we're exposing data directly to components, but you might want to rather extend data with some state management that exposes the data in a more controlled way. So with what we're going through now, what I want to rather recommend is that you still keep your data. You still keep your data as like an internal reference that you can pass around, right? But then, so you still have like reactive data that's like the DTOs. But then when you actually want to expose it, you map over that data or do whatever you want. And you create, for example, this to-do thing. Now the challenge with that is references. Well, I get, okay, we're going to look at this one. Let's grab this one. Let's talk about it. I have to stop streaming shortly, but let's just TypeScript. Ugh. Okay. So here, as you can see, we're just passing in the DTO directly from the server. We're just shoving it into this to-do, and we're adding some functionality to it. But what if I want to manipulate this data from within the state management? Now I have to do it from this to-do. But I don't want that. So what I rather want is, I want my data to just be the data. Let's see, let's add another one. And then I have my state down here. Const state equals reactive. And here I might have, so this is still to-dos, and we're not gonna map over them here. We're just gonna, yeah, we're not gonna make them read only even. We're just gonna return our data. Data persistence, whatever. Let's imagine we get persistence from here. So we just have this internal data reference that's never exposed to the components. And then we have these to-dos. And the point is, Yeah, this is really tricky. Did I change the... No, that's optimistic. Yeah, this is really tricky because I think you do want this ability to manipulate the data without exposing it to components, and then you rather derive that data. The problem with deriving is that every time something changes, you're deriving everything. So if I were to like do a get to-dos, for example, and then I would return data.todos map, and then do this to-do thing. Yeah, we can do this to-do. But maybe that's fine, because what happens now is that every time the actual to-dos array changes, which means I'm removing or adding anything, that's the point where I actually change it. Or like go through it again. But if I really wanted to make this good, I would actually need to have this cached thing. Oh, maybe. So we have read only here. So this wouldn't be data anymore. This would actually be to do. Yeah, and how would I, but now you kind of have to do this thing. Return to do.id. You have to explicitly make it getters from this to do thing because it's internal. I don't like that either. But it's very interesting, this thing where you want to, there's certain things you want to hide and there's certain things you want to expose. And how to efficiently do that. Because I do want this to be the to do. But maybe that's because we do have this merge thing. So maybe this is where it comes in. Yeah. Because now we're keeping this internal reference to a to-do. You do have access to the to-do from the outside. But what if I didn't want to expose everything? What if I only wanted to expose certain things? Then I have to do these getters. Not that it's like a super bad thing. That is what derived is. Like we're literally deriving here. It's just a bit of an effort. That's all. But I think this is more the right way to do it, because then you can internally in your state management manipulate the data by any means. Yeah, I think that's better actually. And then, yeah, so you have your state, and now you're running through your to-dos, but the problem stays. What I wanted to think about was there is this possibility to cache. And I haven't thought about it from this perspective, where we can actually say cache. Well, so this wouldn't be to do. Let's call this data or to do DTO or something. Just to be clear, to do DTO. So what we would do is we would cache it by to do DTO. So as long as to do DTO is available in memory, No, wait, this doesn't make any sense. It needs to be from here. Yeah, and then I need a cache and everything. Yeah, no, I'm gonna think about this. We've been reflecting on this before, but it's interesting. This whole thing of like private public, it's kind of killing me. And I think that's where complexity comes from. Or not complexity, but like how easy it is to reason about something. So if everything can just be like global, mutable, there's no protection, there's no public-private, everything can just be done, then you don't have to think about how you structure and how you expose things. But here we're like very diligent about what we expose and how we expose it, and that makes things more tricky. It's not directly React, it's external state management to React, but it is consumed by React. Yeah. But it's a very much like an exploration project. It's just kind of, I'm trying to kind of bring all the experience I have had like doing state management in a lot of different complex applications and trying to like make it bare bones JavaScript instead of like creating some like fancy abstraction with its own concepts and primitives and stuff. So we're just using JavaScript, but we want to still take care of these concerns that we have. But we're just going to do it with patterns, just JavaScript, which is tricky, but that's the point. Like if you can identify like these strong patterns that gives you these guarantees, I think those patterns are much more valuable to teach and expose and discuss with others than like creating some magical framework that just hides all these things. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for following along, and I'm gonna think a bit more about this one, and then but we did optimize our app, so that was great. Cool. Bye for now.